Hello, I'm Mark Hammett, minister of the Weber Road Church of Christ in Corpus Christi, Texas, and it's good to have you join us for this daily devotional and Bible reading. We provide these during the weekdays, sometimes on Saturdays, and I hope that you'll take advantage of the devotionals we've done since March of 2020. And you can look those up on our Facebook page, and many of those on my personal YouTube channel. You may want to turn to Proverbs chapter 14. Proverbs chapter 14 is where we will read from in just a moment for our Bible reading. It was the spring of 1894. The Baltimore Orioles came to Boston to play a routine baseball game. But what happened that day was anything but routine. The Orioles' John McGraw got into a fight with the Boston third baseman. Within minutes, all the players from both teams had joined in the brawl. The warfare quickly spread to the grandstands, and among the fans, the conflict went from bad to worse. Someone set fire to the stands, and on that day, the entire ballpark burned to the ground. Not only that, but the fire spread to 107 other Boston buildings as well. Can you believe that? The 18th century British physician John Hunter, who was a pioneer in the field of surgery and served as surgeon to King George III, suffered from angina. Discovering that his attacks were often brought on by anger, Hunter lamented, "My life is at the mercy of any scoundrel who chooses to put me in a passion." These words proved to be prophetic, for at a meeting of the board at St. George's Hospital in London, Hunter got into a heated argument with the other board members. After that argument, he walked out and dropped dead in the next room. Abraham Lincoln's Secretary of War, Edwin Stanton, was angered by an Army officer who accused him of favoritism. Stanton complained to Lincoln, who suggested that Stanton write the officer a sharp letter. Well, Stanton did so. He showed the strongly worded letter to the president. "What are you going to do with it?" Lincoln inquired. Surprised, Stanton replied, "Send it." Lincoln shook his head. He said, "You don't want to send that letter. Put it in the stove." And then he told him, "That's what I do when I have written a letter when I'm angry. It's a good letter and you have good timing writing it and you feel better. But now when you're done, burn it and then write another." Have you ever had that happen to you? You've written an email, you've typed out a text on your phone, you've written a letter, and then you paused in sending it and looked at it a little bit later, and you realized, maybe I should take some words out. Maybe I should take some of the incendiary type messages and words that are in that letter, that email, that text, and I should take them out before I send it. Let's go ahead and read from a passage found in Proverbs chapter 14. Proverbs 14, starting in verse 24. "The crown of the wise is their wealth, but the folly of fools brings folly. A truthful witness saves lives, but one who breathes out lies is deceitful. In the fear of the Lord one has strong confidence, and his children will have refuge. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, that one may turn away from the snares of death. In a multitude of people is the glory of a king, but without people a prince is ruined. Whoever is slow to anger has great understanding, but he who has a hasty temper exalts folly or foolishness. A tranquil heart gives life to the flesh, but envy makes the bones rot. Whoever oppresses a poor man insults his maker," that being God. "But he who is generous to the needy honors him. The wicked is overthrown through his evil doing, but the righteous finds refuge in his death. Wisdom rests in the heart of a man of understanding, but it makes itself known even in the midst of fools. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people." Again, that's a great passage, and I would encourage you to read through the Proverbs. It's hard to read through them and really think about each proverb. But when you do so and you study them out, you learn a great deal, and really need to make those personal applications. Remember what he said there when he said, whoever is slow to anger has great understanding, but he who has a hasty temper exalts folly or foolishness. So, if you're the type that gets a little angry very quickly, just learn to slow down, to take a breath, and to really think before you react. Hope that you've been encouraged today. Continue to read God's Word, continue to pray to God, continue to make the applications that are necessary. And may the Lord bless you richly as you seek to follow His will.